The gym was a cathedral of iron and sweat, but for Marcus, it felt like a battlefield where he was losing ground. At 34, he'd noticed the signs for months. Mornings dragged, his body clung to fat despite his efforts, and his once fiery ambition flickered weakly. His doctor's diagnosis hit hard: low testosterone. Not critical, but enough to sap his edge. Marcus rejected hormone injections, craving a natural path to reclaim his vitality. Inspired by science and fueled by stubborn hope, he embarked on a 7-day quest to boost his testosterone naturally, unaware that this journey would reshape not just his body, but his entire sense of self. Want to follow his path and transform your own energy? Subscribe for weekly health tips and start your journey today. Day 1. The spark of resolve. Marcus knew sleep was the foundation of hormonal health. A 2011 University of Chicago study found that men sleeping less than 5 hours nightly had testosterone levels akin to someone 15 years older. He transformed his bedroom into a sanctuary: no screens, blackout curtains, a crisp 18C. That first night, he lay awake, doubts gnawing: could he really change? But as he drifted into deep REM sleep, his pituitary gland signaled his testes to produce testosterone, a process peaking in those quiet hours. He woke with a faint pulse of energy, a whisper of the man he used to be. Ready to optimize your sleep for peak performance? Subscribe for our science-backed sleep guide. Day 2. Iron and instinct. Strength training was Marcus's next weapon. A 2016 study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed heavy compound lift squats, deadlifts, bench presses could spike testosterone by up to 20% post-workout. In the gym, he loaded the barbell, each rep a primal roar against his fatigue. Sweat stung his eyes, but the rush was electric, his muscles awakening. The heavy loads triggered his hypothalamus, boosting testosterone production through the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. In the mirror, he stood taller, chest out, a spark reigniting. Want to build strength and boost testosterone like Marcus? Subscribe for our free workout plan. Day 3. Fuel for the Fire. Diet had been Marcus's blind spot. A 2017 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition linked healthy fats, avocados, nuts, olive oil to higher testosterone, as cholesterol is the raw material for steroid hormones. He swapped processed carbs for grass-fed beef, eggs, and spinach packed with zinc and magnesium, which a 2011 biological trace element research study tied to testosterone production. Breakfast became a ritual: 3 eggs, avocado, almonds. The richness grounded him, his energy steady. His testes converted cholesterol into testosterone, fueled by micronutrients. Feeling inspired to fuel your body, right? Subscribe for our testosterone boosting meal plan. Day 4. Taming the stress beast. Stress was Marcus's silent enemy. A 2004 hormones and behavior study showed cortisol, the stress hormone, suppresses testosterone by competing for resources. His high-pressure job as a project manager, endless emails, deadlines, Zoom calls was a cortisol factory. Marcus fought back with 10-minute daily meditation, focusing on his breath, letting chaos fade. A 2018 Frontiers in Immunology study found mindfulness could lower cortisol by 15%, freeing testosterone's pathways. He added cold showers, inspired by a 2019 Journal of Endocrinology report linking cold exposure to testosterone via norepinephrine. The icy shock left him buzzing, focused. Want to conquer stress and unlock your potential? Subscribe for our stress-busting guide. Day 5. The Sun's Embrace. Marcus had underestimated sunlight's power. A 2016 clinical endocrinology study showed vitamin D, synthesized through UVB exposure, acts like a steroid hormone, boosting testosterone. Seattle's gray winters likely left him deficient. He stepped outside at noon, face tilted to the sun for 20 minutes, letting his skin convert 7-D-hydrocholesterol into vitamin D, which supported testosterone synthesis in his testes. A brisk walk amplified the effect, his steps syncing with his heartbeat. Nature became an ally, his mood lifting, a warmth spreading within. Ready to harness sunlight for vitality? Subscribe for our vitamin D optimization tips. Day 6. Brotherhood and bonds. Social connection was more than emotional, it was biological. A 2015 psychoneuroendocrinology study found that positive interactions, especially competitive or supportive ones, elevate testosterone by reinforcing confidence. Marcus had isolated himself, ashamed of his fatigue. He called his old friend Jake for a pickup basketball game. The court buzzed with laughter, trash talk, and the thud of sneakers. Each steal, each shot jolted his system, his brain signaling testosterone release through social dominance. Over beers later, his laughter was louder, his gestures bolder. Want to boost your testosterone through connection? Subscribe for our guide to building strong social bonds, Day 7. The reckoning on the final day, Marcus wove it all together. A morning workout, a nutrient dense meal, meditation, a sunlit walk. He added intermittent fasting, inspired by a 2020 Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism study showing that a 16 to 8 fasting window could enhance testosterone via growth hormone release. Eating within 8 hours, his body hummed with efficiency. By evening, he felt potent, grounded, not superhuman, but alive. Blood work later confirmed it. His testosterone rose from 320 ng or DL to 480 ng or DL, a leap toward vitality. The science exercise, sleep, diet, stress management, sunlight, connection was alchemy. Ready to transform your life in just 7 days? Subscribe now for our complete testosterone boosting blueprint. Marcus stood in his apartment, Seattle's hum filtering through the window. The week had been grueling, but it cracked open something profound. Testosterone wasn't just about muscle or libido. It was about drive, the fire to face life head on. Studies backed his transformation. Resistance training enhances androgen receptor sensitivity. Zinc supports Leydig cell function. Cortisol blocks gonadotropin releasing hormone. But beyond data was feeling the barbell's weight, sunlight's warmth, a friend's laugh. He'd fought for himself, not with shortcuts, but with choices. The gym was still a battlefield, but Marcus was a warrior now, not a casualty. He laced up his shoes, ready for tomorrow, his spirit awake. Join Marcus's journey and unlock your own vitality. Subscribe today for exclusive health insights.